was talking to God. And it is funny what you realize about self, or what you realize about our nature when you're speaking to God. It is funny what you come to acknowledge about the patterns of humanity that we learned as we came to be. I was telling God how He has a perfect love, but we tend to love Him to some extent. We tend to say we love God. We tend to say that we honor God. We tend to say how much we understand the sacrifices that He made for us, but we are not ready to make the same sacrifices when it comes to our brothers and our sisters. It is funny how we say that we love God, but you are not ready to love God when it's uncomfortable. When there is spiritual warfare because of the word, when He's calling you to do something that is asking you to get out of your fear. I have come to realize that sometimes our conviction is not about what we did wrong. It's who we do not recognize in that conviction. It is more about the image of Jesus Christ more than it is about our images. And I struggle a lot with seeing the image of God in myself sometimes. And I struggle to see whether or not it benefits the other person that I'm trying to show the image of God to. It's not that people do not know God, it is that they're struggling with the images that they have created for themselves. And not just that, it's that we have experiences that have shaped how we treat our brothers and our sisters. We have had experiences where people were mean to us, where you opened the door to a stranger, and a stranger lived as such an encounter that you would never want to open your doors again to another person. And I realized just how the Lord our God is asking us to love our brothers and our sisters and judge with true standards, but we are not able to overlook the mistakes that these people ever made in their life. Nobody is ready to move past the thought, is ready to move past the mistakes I made. Nobody is ready to move past the mistakes my brothers and sisters did. Before we found Christ, we are all sinners. Before we found Christ, we were all imperfect. Before we found Christ, we all had a past. And it has come to make me think just how far we have to go in our walk with Christ. And it is quite uncomfortable if you start thinking about it, in a sense that the Bible teaches us to open our doors to strangers. If you are a person that has always been kind and you have always opened your door to strangers, but they have done you wrong each and every time, it makes you feel like this is not something I can do once again, God. And you know what I told God? Is that I have experiences that limit my love for Him. The kind of love that He wants me to show people. And not just that, I realize it's not I alone that struggles with this, but every Christian. You're walking on a path where you are being called to die to yourself so that you may serve Jesus Christ in the best way possible, in the most genuine, true nature of God. Because it's not about saving our own images or saving our own lives. It's actually living up to the image of Jesus Christ. It's about showing people who truly God is. And God is selfless. God is a person that listens to people mock Him, call Him names, turn away from Him over and over again. In the book of Judges, I was reading today how the Israelites kept on sinning against God. And then after 14 years of their struggle, they would seek God once again. When God sent them somebody to liberate them, they would go back to their sinful nature. It has to make you think, how many times do we treat God in the same way? Like, how many times do we keep sinning against God, and then God sends you a person that is going to save you from yourself, somebody who is going to save you from your sins, somebody who is going to teach you about Jesus, and then you accept Jesus Christ, but then once again you go back to your sinful nature. When the consequences come back unto your life, hunting you down, you start calling onto the name of God, and God, because He is kind, generous, and faithful, He sends you another leader. He sends you another person to drive you out of your agony, to bring healing unto you, to bring peace unto you. Yet again, you continue the same cycle of disobeying God, God forgiving you, you disobey again, God forgives you. And not just that, we have this obsession with self. And it is quite limiting how it can corrupt your relationship with God. And it is quite frustrating in some extent. I understand what Paul meant when he said that I want to be out of this body. This body makes me angry sometimes, because there is what my mind understands, there is what my heart knows. My heart knows that I love God, I love Jesus Christ, I do not want to disobey God, but I will meet myself in a place where I have to choose comfort over discomfort. But in my discomfort I will honor God, but in my comfort I will buy myself time. In my comfort, I will stall. In my comfort, I will buy myself a little courage. I will try to hide for a little while until I am ready. But the thing about God is not about when you are ready. It is that He spoke and He is ready. And I think sometimes I told God, the reason as to why I am overprotective of myself is because when I was in the world, I did not think I had somebody to protect me, to build walls around me, like high walls around me, to protect myself. I used to have just one friend in every season. I could not have more than that because I did not trust people. And the thing about the enemy is this: he's going to use your experiences to limit your faith. I'm not even kidding you about that. He is going to use your past hurts to limit your stewardship. He's going to use your past life to limit you to what God called you to do. Because once again, remember, my brothers and sisters, I am speaking about a place where God has called you to do something that reminds you of how much you have been tortured, tormented, oppressed by people whose spirits were not their own in the first place. The enemy was using these people as vessels. And we do not recognize that because we are so familiar of betrayal. We are familiar of faces that look like you and I, brother and sister, betraying us, moving us further from God. They put so much hatred in our hearts. They hurt us so bad. But we forget that the voice behind the vessel is not what the vessel is. The Bible explains it more than I could actually put it into words. The desires of our hearts is what the enemy manipulates. The desires that are calling you to compete with your sister or compete with your brother or compete for a position, so much so that you want this position, you would rather betray your brother. You want this money more than you love your sister, so you'd rather betray your sister. You want a husband, but because that husband you want is your sister's husband, you'd rather sleep with the husband. Do you understand that we have desires that are ready to compromise for our own gain? Desires that the enemy manipulates. Remember, it was not until Eve heard the serpent say, it is because God does not want you to be like him. It is because God knows that you will have knowledge, that you'll know what is good and bad, and you'll be like him. He used Eve's desire against Eve. And not just Eve. In the Bible, we have so many characters whom the enemy manipulated because they had such desires that were ready to compromise their relationship with God. Look at Saul, for example. Saul was from the tribe of Benjamin, from the family line of Kish. And there was nothing big about the tribe of Benjamin. It was the smallest. And you know the funniest part about the tribe of Benjamin? That before, the people of Israel had taken an oath that they will not allow their women to marry from the tribe of Benjamin. So imagine this. Saul came from a tribe that was I don't know, I will call it enmity or war or under a curse. I don't know the right word. But he came from that tribe. And from that tribe, he was chosen to become a king. Saul becomes a king, so he's filled with his own desire, so much so that he's like, has God not had enough of these sacrifices that we make unto him? I just wanted to please my man, and that is why I did not kill Agag as God asked me to do. On top of that, he made a monument for himself in his honor. He wanted to exalt himself so high, he wanted to be like God. The evil that began with the eating of the fruit fell on the man as much as it fell on the woman. Because why did the man not tell Eve, no, God said that you should not eat that fruit? The man went ahead and took a big chunk out of it too. The sin fell on Adam as it fell on Eve. And if you listen to how Paul puts it, he puts it as this: the sin of one man. He does not recognize the sin of the woman, just as we do. But I'm telling you this: there's a place Paul was speaking about women in a way that made me mad, and I was speaking to God and I'm like, why does he dishonor women like this? And I was asking God, look at this man, he has done so many sins against the Christians, yet he wants to speak against the women, because he was talking about how Eve sinned against God, and he went on to say certain he was having a conversation of how he doesn't allow women to speak, I don't know, to have power or something of the sort. I was so angry because I was like, I'm not gonna even read any book of Paul. And before that, I had somebody conflict with Paul's teaching, yeah, and so I was like, this is seasoned. This had already been put paper and pair to show me, you know what, he's not what he is. But what I learned today is that every character God put in the Bible, he put them with their imperfections and their flaws. Why? Because he wanted to teach us. He wanted us to know that even though you have my spirit, there is a nature within you that will always ask you to dishonor me. There is a nature in you that will always seek to gratify itself. There is a nature in you that will always try to make you question the order of things. Question my order, not the order of the church, not the order of men, but the order of God. And so when he was speaking like that, I was like, I am looking at Paul and I think Paul is exempted to having anger. Paul is exempted to having boastfulness. Paul is exempted to like speaking about women like this. Like I was thinking, this is a man of God, he should not do this. But that is the kind of hypocrisy that many religions, not only religions, but also Christians have. Because you forget you are a sinner. What led Saul to become Paul? It's that he was murdering Christians. And God met him, he encountered him on his way to go murder more Christians, like to go imprison more Christians, bring them to judgment. He used to sentence those that were speaking for the name of Jesus. So when he was literally on the way there, God says, I am going to show you how much you're going to suffer for my name. But it does not mean that he was exempted from having the flaws of his nature. He was not exempted. As much as Peter was loved by Jesus, he was still an angered man.